At 18, I put college applications out, and before I got a chance to go to college, I ended up getting pregnant. I thought it would never happen to me. I thought certainly not the first time I had sex with him would I get pregnant. I actually told my parents before I even went to a doctor to confirm it. All I had done is taken the pregnancy test that you buy from the drugstore. I expected them to be angry and upset, which they were, but they weren't, furious or anything. But they did tell me I had to live on my own. I had to live in my own place with a baby. I definitely was not ready to have a child at 18 years old. I didn't even make the decision that I wanted to have a baby. I made the decision that I couldn't live with an abortion or an adoption. That's the truth. Now, hindsight's 2020. I have my daughter. She's great. I wouldn't give up that experience for anything. This is her favorite. To do hip hop's her favorite. So I love watching her because she smiles and she's happy.
Good job.
That looks great.
The hardest part when I found out I was pregnant was how I was going to tell my mom. The disappointment scared me, and I knew that this was a conversation she never dreamt of and that I never had dreamt of having. And what I eventually ended up doing was writing her a letter and giving it to her, giving her a hug, saying I'm sorry, and I left the house. Came back an hour, and there was a huge discussion, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of oh my God, what are you gonna do? And a lot of crying. But then at the end of the conversation, she came up and she gave me a hug and she said, it's okay, whatever happens, we'll support you. I knew that I had to tell my mom, and so I did that. I told my mom.
What? I'm pregnant.
When she told me that, I needed to either have an abortion or I needed to find another place to live.
Have an abortion, you can...
I freaked out because where would I go? That's the only place that I'd known as for my home.
It makes no sense.
So I just felt as though I didn't have a choice but to have an abortion.
And it came out positive.
Is it mine?
Yes, I'm sure it's yours.
Then I finally told the father of the baby.
I want to keep it.
He suggested that we keep the baby because he never wanted to make the kid feel like it wasn't wanted.
Have you ever thought about adoption?
But my suggestion was adoption, an open adoption, so that we can still see the baby and be involved.
I like Grandma's present.
We're going to a barbecue tomorrow with the adoptive parents. Of all the moms in the world, your baby-to-be picked you. That's one smart kid. Happy Mother's Day. Isn't that adorable? So she picked it out, and I had, seriously, didn't I have tears in my eyes?
Yeah.
I did. I'm like, that is so perfect.
Typically, open adoption, from just a really definition standpoint, means that identifying information is shared between birth parents and adoptive parents. And in every adoption, the relationship and how that evolves is different. It's a big step because we always begin by telling a woman that we sit down with that if you're pregnant and you didn't plan on being pregnant, none of your choices are going to be easy. And adoption is not easy. My philosophy is that all my couples tell me about their preferences, about what circumstances that they're open to in a particular situation. Then when the birth mom's ready to choose, I give her all the profiles of all the families that are interested in her situation.
After my mom goes out of the store, we're going to go back to my house with the adoptive parents and have a birth coach class. After I picked the family, it took a lot of stress off me, and I knew that the baby was going to go to a really good family that I had chose, and they were just really good people, and that I was just I was happy. I was excited.
We really embrace the idea of open adoption, meaning that the goal is to have a relationship, that the birth family and the adoptive parents would have a relationship.
Before I got pregnant, I definitely thought that adoption was heartless. My name's Tiffany, and when I was 16 years old, I found out I was pregnant. Definitely my first thought was, oh my gosh, I have to have an abortion when I found out I was pregnant. I mean, that was definitely the first thing that came to my mind, because I thought, okay, well, if I have an abortion, my mom and dad will never have to know. Nobody at school will ever have to know. The father of my child will never have to know. The first 5 months of my pregnancy, I was basically trying to deny that I was pregnant. I was in denial. I was like, I'm not pregnant. You know, if I just pretend like I'm not, then I'm not. Well, when I finally decided to tell my parents, it was because I had no other option. I had to. I couldn't have an abortion, so obviously I had to either keep the baby or place the baby in an adoption.
It was tough the first day when we found out that Tiffany was pregnant. We didn't really know what to do.
So we found out about the Adoption Center of San Diego, and the adoption facilitator came out to our house and just sat down and said, so Tiffany, why are you thinking about adoption? And I just kind of looked at her and said, I'm 16. Duh, like, why else would I be thinking about it? You know, like, I can't be a mom right now.
Okay, so today's Mother's Day, and we're going to La Jolla, and feel kind of weird because I'm not really like a mom, but I am. Hopefully it'll be a good day. My dad got me flowers, even though I'm not really a mom, he still got me flowers. Weird. I don't know.
Every woman really goes through the process in a different way, and what you see on the outside might be different than what people are facing internally. It's going to be a loss, and they confirm this. It's a loss forever. You'll never get over that feeling of, I wish things had been different.
Hey girl, how are you? Good. Really? Yeah.
I pretty much sucked it up and moved on with life as though everything was the same, you know? So I continued to be a cheerleader. I continued to just be, you know, the Monica that I was or that I knew to be. It's not until later when I started to experience all of the depression and everything that was related to it that I realized that I really got stuck emotionally.
Okay, so this is expected in this.
And I felt as though I wasn't able to avoid it. Anniversaries, like the expected due date, the time of the abortion, those are like two times that I really, you know, I may start to feel a little bit sad. I know just this, you know, past year, around the anniversary time of the abortion, I just had the worst nightmare on the face of the earth. The next day, all I could do was just like cry.